This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream house or ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Hey, welcome into Breakfast Ball alongside Danny Parker's back from vacation. Craig Carton, Mark Slayer, thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Danny, how we doing?
Oh,
welcome back.
Vacation was great. Don't I look tan?
You do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Rested.
I'm going to say 50 SPF, or is that
75, 80? There's not enough SPF in the world for this pastiness. Lake life, man. I'd be fine with lake life. Wow. Lake life? Lake life.
One of these things is not like the other. You've been in the sun.
I leave New Jersey, and I got a tan better than wherever he was. I don't know where it was.
The Ozarks.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We start in basketball. 2 games is all the Mavericks needed to see after scoring 31 points in his second summer league game against Dylan Harper and the Spurs. The Mavs have shut down Cooper Flagg for the rest of Summer League.
God forbid you let an 18-year-old play more basketball.
Right, exactly. Don't want to get him hurt. Seen enough from Flagg this summer for to prove that he could be a star in this league.
Well, look, obviously he didn't shoot well in the first game, 5 for 21, but we all kind of left that game. I can't speak for Danny because you weren't here, saying, all good.
Yeah.
Like he got his shot off. He just didn't make a lot of shots, but he proved that he belonged on a court with guys that are some of them fringe, some of them legitimate, obviously, NBA players. Well, guess what? He shot the ball better, right? And he scored 31. Offense is not going to be the issue with him. It's just not. Obviously, physicality over 82 games will be a big test for him at 18 years old, and because he's obviously got to put on some muscle, which most kids that age do. The real question about Cooper Flagg is going to be, can he play defense at the NBA level? And the answer is he's probably going to struggle a little bit, at that level. But the thing that bothers me about it, because he can clearly play basketball, he's going to be a really good NBA player, is I would want to see more out of him at 18 years old. There's enough time before the season starts to get him some rest, to get him in the weight room exclusively, and to work on that part of it. This is what teams do, though. I get it. It's a little disappointing, but it was good for him and for us who want to see him do well, because we want another superstar in the league because we're just fans of basketball. He looked every bit like a superstar.
This is purely shut him down because risk of injury. Purely you're scared of him potentially getting hurt.
Yeah.
That's what it really comes down to, because he did everything. I mean, he played defense. He ran the court. You saw the spacing. You saw him get assists. You saw him go to left hand off the glass. You saw him shoot better in game 2. So he's done everything. You saw him find his shot, get to a spot, get his shot off, Danny.
Listen, I don't think that there's ever been any real debate about this kid, and I don't think anyone remembers any notable Summer League moment from any player ever. It's the Summer League. It doesn't really matter. It's the Mavericks probably wanted him to have a good performance with Mavericks across his chest and then shut him down. Because to your point, Craig, this is now just how teams operate. It's cool that the stars show up to support the younger guys and they sit courtside, but they wouldn't do that if it was in Spokane. They do it because it's in Vegas.
Right.
And it's a cool place for NBA guys to go in the offseason. And so he is the most hyped number 1 pick since Victor Wembanyama 2 years ago. And he has now done exactly what Victor Wembanyama did in the Summer League 2 years ago. They both struggled in game 1. Good to have Troy, the graphic man, back. Operating as I'm back from vacation, put him back to work a little bit. And then how did Victor Wembanyama and Cooper Flagg do in Summer League game number 2? They both were awesome. Right. And then you see that little drop there at the bottom. Both shut down after the second game. So there was no doubt about Victor Wembanyama. They just wanted him to have a good game with Spurs across his chest. No doubt about Cooper Flagg, same thing. And this is not just the last 3 years. Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
Any high-profile number 1 pick, they don't risk it in the summer league until they have a good. Zion hurt his knee, shockingly, in his summer league debut. Was off to a very good start. Anthony Davis didn't get a minute. These other guys get 2 games. So this is just what we need to come in expecting. If you want to see Cooper Flagg in summer league, don't buy your ticket to the 4th game. You got to be there for the debut because these guys aren't going to play.
Do you remember last week when Troy was my Huckleberry?
Yeah.
Do you remember he was
so much more fun? Right?
Yeah,
sorry about
making
that.
me full screen.
Yeah.
Sorry
and all
about
those
that.
kind
You got
of
nothing
things.
now.
Facts, figures,
More
information.
papers last week.
And we're going to learn
Look,
things.
we'll get them in the preseason. Obviously, as the Mavericks try to figure out, their rotation and, where you put them and who he defends, all that nonsense. But you're right. Look, it was the best case scenario for the Dallas Mavericks and their phenom first overall pick. They got a great game out of him, and now we won't see him again until October, right?
Yeah.
And now it just builds the anticipation of, man, this kid dropped 31 in Las Vegas. Can't wait to see what he does game 1. And it's going to build and build and build. Obviously, he's going to play preseason because you have to.
Yeah.
But that opening night game for the Mavericks will be, I guarantee it already now, a nationally televised game. It'll be the 8 o'clock game on whatever it is, network, right? And we're all going to tune in for it because we want to see, is he as good as we hope he's going to be? We did it with Wemby. We did it with those other guys that Danny put up on that list. And now we've got something to look forward to, right? How good's the kid going to be?
Yeah, and I would argue this, that, listen, man, I know that he's got great basketball skills. We've witnessed his great basketball skills going back to Duke. And then, obviously, you always talk about that stint with Team USA when he practiced with Team USA. And then in these first 2 summer league games, what will benefit him more is to be around the facility, to work out, to pack on some muscle, to do all those things. Because the basketball skills, they'll continue to work on basketball skills and all those things.
And look, while he's putting
size,
on weight,
strength, all that stuff.
While he's in the weight room, boring stuff but important stuff, it's not like he's not going to play basketball.
Of course.
He's going to be out there working on his mid-range game and, making sure he's got the arm strength to get up and knock down 3-point shots. He may not do it 5-on-5, but he's going to be working on his basketball game, 100%. And when you take a look at the Mavericks, Kyrie Irving's not playing till maybe the playoffs, I think was the announcement last week. And you have the detached retina situation now with Anthony Davis. He's going to be the guy that they count on now early on because of the injuries to be a huge component of their offense.
Yes, and I think that he is going to be just fine. I mean, we've seen rookie Blake Griffin came in and averaged over 20. Paolo Banchero came in and averaged over 20. You can come in and score in the NBA. It's an offensive league. So he's going to score. He's going to be really, really good. Will he be a great defensive player?
Probably not early on.
Probably not right away. But I don't think he's going to be that big of a liability. He's a plus athlete who's 6'9". Like that. How bad can you possibly be if you put in the effort? You're a good athlete and you're huge. We're not talking about a guy who's 6'2" here.
Right, and that's the other thing is when you watched him even in summer league, great effort.
Yeah.
And great court awareness. And I think that is one of those things that some guys just really have that ability to understand the game at a higher level. And you could see his vision, you could see his court awareness, you could see the spatial awareness. He understands the game. He gets bum rushed, blitzed on the very first possession, gives it up, then goes, finds his shot, gets to his spot. He misses the shot, but that's a guy that really understands what's going on.
He's clearly a great basketball player. I can't see a scenario where a kid like that, who is as young as he is, who's as good at so many different things, has any idea of is he going to bust? You know what I mean? I don't think that's even on the table for him. It's a question of ceiling, and it's a question of how quickly he gets there. And it's a unique situation, which we talked about when they won the lottery. He will be compared to Luka Doncic because of the history there with the Mavericks, and they will be expected to win because of Kyrie and Anthony Davis and their age and those guys being in their prime but having injuries. So it's a weird spot. It's not Dylan Harper in San Antonio, which you got 15 years to play and win with Wembanyama. Or it's not Ace Bailey. This is a guy who, hey, you got to score 20 right away and win in the Western Conference. So we're going to be judging him differently, not just because of the hype, but because we're going to also be judging it in the context of winning basketball.
I think one of the things that's always interesting, though, and I'll take my sport, for instance, watching young guys come in that are really good players and watching the grind that the season has on those guys.
Sure.
In
Is there a
football,
rookie
you
wall?
you go through mini camps, you go through training camp, and veterans are bebopping into the facility week 9, week 10.
You know what to expect.
And and the rookies are in their lockers folded up like this, in their sleeping, they're like, this is ridiculous. So that the physicality and all those things and the length of the season, that'll take its toll on you.
Because you've never done it. Until you've done it, you haven't done it, right? Here's the one thing, last thought for me on that. The only thing that mattered to me was, is he afraid to shoot? Right? Some guys go into the gym and all of a sudden it's like, I want to find my place and maybe the game's a little too fast for me. Dude took almost 40 shots in 2 games. So he was like, I'm the guy. Give me the rock. Right. I'm going to shoot it.
I think he had 40, did he have 42, 21, 21?
I
two
love
nights
that.
in a row,
I can't add. I don't know what number it was.
Something like that.
Yeah,
good job by you.
If you
fella.
think
I put those two together. I went 21, 21. I went that moment and then did 2 and 2.
I would say one thing, just a non-sports thing. We're in a bit of a pickle here. Just this is a life question for you guys. Yeah. We have a producer. We love his mom, Ethan, who called out today from, he claims, the emergency room, saying that he got bit by a spider and that his hand was the size of a grapefruit.
That's right.
So I come into that news like you guys did this morning, and obviously we wish him well.
Concerned, right? It was the first thing you thought.
No, because here's why. If you have a hand that's the size of a grapefruit because it got bit by a spider, don't you immediately take a picture of that hand and send it to your coworkers? I have not seen a picture yet. So I would just say this. If I don't get a picture by noon today, you're fired. Oh, wow.
I would like to.
Or he dies.
One of the others.
Then he's not fired.
I'd like to apologize for the HIPAA violation that just occurred on this show. It is now time for Wake Up Call.
No, if he tells us what's going on, it's not a HIPAA violation.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tyler Stevenson's the slowest dude in baseball. Hits a routine line drive to left. This is your 3rd wake-up call. And somehow, some way.
Well, not somehow, some way. It's the Rockies. Of course you can't make a tag.
He rolls the dice afterwards. Look, he doesn't even really slide. He slides, he jumps, but he evades the tag. And safe at second base. At second base. A dude like that should never try to take 2. He does, and he does it successfully. All right, nice shot. Let's go to number 2. Grace Kim needs an eagle on 18 to force a playoff. Par 5. A little bit past, so that's going to be a tough eagle putt. But wait a minute. The ball rolls backwards and lands within a foot of the cup. Grace Kim makes that easy eagle putt.
Awesome.
They go into a playoff, and you bet your hiney Grace Kim takes care of business in the playoff after this amazing eagle. And then a little champagne in your face because Grace Kim is your Evian champion. Congratulations. There you go, right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but needed that eagle on 18.
That's amazing.
To force the playoff, and she does. And number 1, Johannes Connor in the Adidas Future Stars game is 5'7".
What?
Bang!
Wow.
And throws it down like a big man.
5'7"?
5'7".
Spud Webb.
And got up and flushed it home. One more time, Johannes Connor. And as he threw down the impressive dunk, you know what he said out loud?
What?
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Hey, could LeBron James be on the move? Find out where he may land next right here on Breakfast Ball.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at Polestar.com.
Hey, do yourself a favor. Listen to the Breakfast Ball podcast. Download it. Craig, where can you get it?
Well, you get it in Las Vegas where the Summer League no longer matters since Cooper Flagg's all done.
Canceled it.
If you've been watching any of the storylines about Las Vegas is in trouble. It's not the same as it was even 5 years ago. So if you go to Vegas, we give you the podcast for free.
We're bringing back the strip.
That's right. Right in the McCarran Airport, you get the podcast. You go there, you get the podcast.
All right, time now for stories to start your morning. The rivalry between the 2 best players in all of tennis continues as Sinner defeated Alcaraz in 4 sets to win Wimbledon. Danny, Sinner, Alcaraz is the next great tennis rivalry?
Yes, I mean, it's certainly on pace to be, right, and off of Roland Garros, which one of the great matches ever. It had me tuning in Sunday morning to see the rematch. These guys have now won 7 straight Grand Slams. So that is what matters in tennis, is the Grand Slams. And also rivalries in tennis, Matt. Federer, Nadal, McEnroe, Borg. Like, you need to have those rivalries for people to tune in. The contrasting styles, they seem to like each other. It was good for the sport, I thought, that Sinner got his first Wimbledon title because Alcaraz had won, I think, 5 straight of their head-to-head matches, and obviously Sinner hadn't won Wimbledon yet. So it was not nearly as exciting as the French Open, but it was still a great match. Sinner's power is absolutely ridiculous, and it was fun. And yes, they've played each other heads up, I think, 13 times at this point. It's 8-5 in the head-to-head match. 7 straight Grand Slams, like I said. Yes, this is a budding rivalry. It's awesome.
Yeah, Sinner also twice tested positive for an anabolic steroid, which changed the entire arc of his career. And number 2, the thing that's more bothersome to me as an American who every now and then likes watching tennis and grew up watching Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe, it's now 22 years since an American won a Grand Slam event. That's absurd.
That is absurd.
22 years without a single Wimbledon, French Open, U.S. Open win. What's the 4th one I'm missing there? Who cares?
Which one did you say?
Wimbledon, U.S. Open, Australian Open.
Australian Open.
22 years without an American winning a single on the men's side, a single Grand Slam event.
Sinner's really skinny. I'm going to say he should get his money back. So it did not work. We move on. Big night in the world of baseball as the Home Run Derby is set for tonight in Atlanta. Some of the brightest young stars in the game, including Matt Olson, Cal Raleigh, James Wood, Byron Buxton, set to compete in the Home Run Derby. So, Craig, who you got?
Well, I'm going to take my guy. I mean, there's only one New Yorker being represented, so I'll take him. Why not?
Jazz?
Right?
You going Jazz?
I'm going to take Jazz Chisholm. He's no chance of winning it, which would make it even more exciting if he does. Look, as a kid who loved Major League Baseball All-Star Weekend, which predates the Home Run Derby, which really was a 1950s thing, as a made-for-TV 1v1 special with all the great players, and they brought it back 20 years ago. I was not a Home Run Derby guy, but not because I didn't love watching home runs. I did. It's because I hated Chris Berman. And I was so sick and tired of hearing back, which is a home run call he stole, as a matter of fact. He didn't invent it.
I kind of miss him.
It was also a problem for me. But when Josh Hamilton went to Yankee Stadium, got to be, 2008 now, I think, and did what I'd never seen a player do in a home run derby, and that's it, like 100 home runs, I was all in. And as a father of children who love baseball, one of whom works for Major League Baseball, my eyeballs are on the TV tonight watching.
I will have to disagree with you on Chris Berman. There is no better call than you haters. I love it. And I will always love it. Chris Berman's my boy. So I love you, Chris.
I got Cal Raleigh. I got the favorite. I mean, big dumper. How do you not have him?
Yeah, how do you not have the big dumper? Hey, Bears GM Ryan Poles ain't going anywhere, agreeing to a contract extension that's going to run through the 2029 season. So, Danny, does Ryan Poles deserve this extension?
Deserves got nothing to do with it, honestly. The Bears, for so long, have just been in this cycle of head coach and GM not being on the same timeline, and the coach is a lame duck, and then you draft the quarterback with the first-round pick, and then you fire the coach. And it happened with Mitch Trubisky. It happened with Justin Fields, Matt Eberflus, Matt Nagy, Ryan Poles, Ryan Pace. Like, it just keeps happening. And now Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and Ryan Poles are all on the exact same timeline. And he's got 15 wins in 3 years. So it's not about the results. It's about what he inherited versus what they have now. What Ryan Poles inherited was the worst situation in the NFL. $93 million in dead cap, a quarterback that he didn't draft, and Darnell Mooney, a nice piece. Allen Robinson past his prime. I really like Cole Kmet, but just they weren't really going anywhere. And Matt Eberflus was his hire. It was not good. Now going into the 2025 season, they've got the least amount of dead cap space in the NFL. He just hired the hottest head coaching candidate in years in the NFL, executed this unbelievable trade, the Bryce Young trade that nets him DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, and more. and they're in a great cap spot. So it's really not about the wins. It's about lining him up with the head coach and the quarterback and how they're positioned going forward.
Yeah, it's going to be about the wins at some point.
Starting now.
Right.
Starting now.
Yeah.
I'm saying for the extension, they're not paying him for the 15 wins.
No, they're not. And when he became GM in 22, if I have that right?
Yeah, so it's been 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's only 3 years, which is not a lot of time. And if they thought he was incompetent, he would have proved that this offseason. And I thought he showed the exact opposite. They're a better football team.
Right.
Period. Stop. The question is, do you become a Chris Greer, where you're just like GM for life and you have no playoff success to show for it? He's a long way away from that, obviously.
And the Bears have never done that.
And it comes down to, is Caleb Williams the guy that leads them to the postseason? Because unlike a lot of quarterbacks where year two, you just want to see major improvement from year 1 to year 2, I think, and I'm not a Bears fan, you are, that the expectations for the Bears are bigger than that this year because of all the other things they did, because they hired Ben to be their head coach.
Yep.
I think they have to make the playoffs. They don't have to win a wild card game, but if you're sitting there at 8-9, 9-8, which would be a statistical improvement record-wise, but you're not playing postseason, I think it's a problem.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, and one of the reasons you extend guys, is you want organizational continuity, and nobody talks about it, right? But it's important and in place. You talked about the dead cap, cleaning that up. You talked about the weapons, the head coach, all the things that you put together. They also addressed their offensive line. They addressed a lot of things that were deficient with this program, with this franchise, with this football team. And all those things, in totality, when you add all that stuff up, you say, yeah, that continuity is going to be important for us, and we're on the right path. That trade, just that trade alone, probably deserves the extension.
It changed everything.
Yeah.
It changed everything. So does he deserve it? Not in the traditional sense, because they
Not
have
from
done,
a win standpoint.
They have done exactly nothing
Yeah.
since he's been there, and they had a 10-game losing streak last year. And he hired Matt Eberflus and then kept him when they got the draft rights to Caleb Williams, which was insane, and we all said it at the time. But you get Ben Johnson, a lot can be forgiven.
Yeah, you can't blame them too for the one bad play that really started the
I'm trying to think
10-game
I
slide,
remember the Bears
right?
at one point were 4-2.
Right, they were 4-2.
They were playing, I think, Washington, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they were about to go 5-2.
5-2, which would have
And they were kind of celebrating
incredible.
both on the field
Right.
and on the sideline.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm
And
trying
then
to
what
remember.
happened? What did happen? Do we have that video? Apparently we don't have
How
it.
long do they?
Highly unlikely we have that.
How long can we stall here?
What's the next story?
Yeah, they lost the game.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, famous play.
Okay. Apparently we don't have the Hail Mary. Big news in Lakerland is 4 teams have reportedly called Rich Paul to express interest in trading for LeBron James. Those teams being the Mavs, the Warriors, the Cavs, and the Clippers. So, Craig,
Yeah.
Here we
expect
go.
LeBron to finish his career
Told you this guy's
in
insufferable.
Los Angeles.
Why'd you opt in if you don't want to play for the Lakers? And why did the Lakers have dinners with Luka and didn't invite LeBron when they were talking about things that they were doing, which is out there now about?
Yeah.
It's funny to me, though, and I understand why. He has a no-trade clause, so I get it. But why aren't they calling the Lakers? Why aren't these teams calling Rob Pelinka and the Lakers up, and Jenny Buss, who I know sold the team but still maintains her governorship for the moment of the team? Wouldn't you call the Lakers first and say, hey, if you were going to trade LeBron, before we find out if he's even willing to come play with us, what would a trade look like? What do we have asset-wise that you would want? The fact that they call his agent up is, again, everything wrong with LeBron James and the Lakers and the NBA. And I will go to my grave telling you, if you didn't want to be a Laker because you don't think there's enough talent for them to win, and I think we all agree there's not right now, they are not going to represent the West next year in the NBA Finals because the West is just too loaded with depth and talent, then why did you opt in? You had the luxury of opting out. Now, you wouldn't have made $50 million. You probably would have taken a little haircut on what you could make because of the way the salary cap works. But you had the ability to do what you've done multiple times before, to dictate exactly what team you want to go to that in your mind gives you the best chance to win another title. He opted in, greed obviously, and then within 30 seconds of opting in, he made it clear through his agent, well, we're not quite sure if we're all in on this team, and we want to see what Rob Pelinka and the Lakers do before we're fully committed to playing for them. Well, then why did you opt in?
But first off, let me just, point of order. The reason that they didn't call the Lakers and they've called LeBron and his representation is because they wanted to talk to the boss of the Lakers.
Oh, God.
So they wanted to talk to the guy in charge of the Lakers, right?
It seems like Luka's the new boss of the Lakers because this dinner that allegedly happened did not include LeBron.
It didn't, and LeBron reportedly understands the opportunity to acquire Luka and plan for your future and acquire a young superstar like that made sense. LeBron came to terms with that. And was excited to play with Luka. What you said there off the top, though, he has a no-trade clause.
Right.
Well, so, hey, LeBron, you don't want to be a Bull, I can assure you that, but you don't want to be a Grizzly. So you have to, the teams that called.
Were they the Mavericks?
Let's go through them real quick.
Yeah.
The Clippers doesn't really make sense, but I respect them calling. Because it's like, hey, you're building this, palace in Beverly Hills. How angry are you with the Lakers? But, right, I'm Steve Ballmer. I'm willing to pay the luxury tax. I have Kawhi. I have Harden. I have Zubac. You don't have to move.
Sure.
I respect it. I think it would be insane, but I respect the call. The Mavericks.
Crazy.
It's insane. But let's just say.
It'd be awesome, though, wouldn't it?
It would be awesome.
You basically would have traded Luka for AD and LeBron.
And let's assume that they obviously would not give up Cooper Flagg, obviously.
Sure. Right.
And Kyrie is untradeable because he's hurt. If they did, look, it's not going to happen. But if it was Kyrie, Cooper Flagg, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, good team. We'd be like, oh,
that's going to work out okay.
That team's pretty good. That team could win. Then the next team, the Warriors.
There's been rumors about him and Golden State for a long time.
Correct. They tried to trade for him last year.
Right.
Arguably, his two best friends in the NBA are Draymond Green and Steph Curry. I know you make fun of me for the Team USA stuff, but we did just see Steph Curry and LeBron be the two best players on Team USA when they won a gold medal. Even if they couldn't win a title, they just won as a 7 seed. They won a playoff series.
Yep, against Houston. And
maybe they win a second-round playoff series if Steph Curry doesn't hurt his hamstring, right?
On the table. Sure.
And they would be on national TV every night. If it was Steph Curry and LeBron on the same team, we would watch. We would watch. It would be great for the league. And then the last one who called, the Cavs. They won 64 games. It's his hometown team. Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and LeBron James finishing his career in his hometown where he already won a championship. That's not that ridiculous to imagine. So when I saw the list of the 4 teams, I was like, I get it. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's soap opera-ish. It's LeBron. It's drama. It's the name in the news. It's ego. It's power. It's all of that stuff. But it's also part of why a lot of us love the NBA.
Yeah.
The off-season drama of the NBA is a huge piece of the popularity of the NBA. And all 4 of those scenarios are legitimately interesting.
So answer the question. You expect him to finish his career in L.A.?
I do. And that's the thing. I think he is the guy with a wandering eye who has more power than really anybody in the history of the league. He basically invented the 1-and-1 contract, right?
That's right.
I'm going to sign for the max for 1 year with a player option for another so that if I blew out my Achilles, I could still opt in, right? He invented that power play. So they drafted his kid.
Which is why how he could possibly have any negative feelings towards the Lakers, which one story was that he was a little miffed he wasn't at this dinner with Luka about the future of the Lakers. The Lakers not only drafted your son, who does not belong in the NBA just yet, gave him a guaranteed multi-year contract for a couple $1 million a year, right? You can't be mad at the Lakers. The Lakers have not done you wrong.
They have not done him wrong. And so I expect him to be with the Lakers. But if we've learned anything from the 22 years of LeBron James, he is going to use his power to try to make the Lakers make the roster as good as possible.
I don't think he finishes his career with the Lakers. He may play for them this year and obviously be very tough to trade him because of the number. But it's looking more and more likely that Rich Paul, that Clutch, that LeBron James, at some point, whether that's this summer or whether that's a year from now, but there will come a point, I believe, where we see LeBron James in one more jersey.
Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a team, use Cleveland as an example, where you can't, again, we don't know if he's a free agent, different story. You can go anywhere you want. You give up nothing to get him, which if you're LeBron James, and you know in your heart, man, we're not winning a title in L.A. I'll play out the year. I get to play another year with my son. There's great value to that. Off the court, obviously, and all that stuff.
They were just the 3 seed in the West.
Yeah, all right. I don't maybe he doesn't feel that way, but we all know they're not going to win the title. But then after that, you opt out, and now you play wherever you want. That's where a team like Cleveland becomes interesting. Houston, all teams like that, where no one's going to argue whether or not they have a lot of young talent. They do. And if I could just walk in there as the veteran presence who doesn't have to play 40 minutes a game because I got 4 other dudes who can play, and I can gift wrap myself a final championship and then walk off into the sunset with another title.
Yeah.
That's how this story plays out, folks.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. It would be awesome.
He won't have as many as Mike still, but at least he'll get one more.
All right, coming up,
Mine's
every
pretty
one
good.
of their brother thinks Giannis is on the move, so find out why the Bucks may have the last laugh. That's next on
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
Breakfast Ball. It's been an interesting offseason in Milwaukee as they've made moves to try and improve the team around Giannis. Here's the Bucks president on all the Giannis chatter. Take a listen.
We kind of laugh internally. It's where we've been for 10 years. Giannis loves Milwaukee. Milwaukee loves Giannis. We're in a good place. We feel great about it. It's business as usual.
So have the Bucks done enough to stay in title contention, Danny, with the moves they've made?
Well, so let's break this up here. In title contention, most people will say no. They're 5th in the East right now for title odds, but also everyone concedes that the East is wide open. So the team that wins the East is going to be an underdog to the team that wins the West. So the Bucks probably are not going to play in the finals, and they probably will not win a title this year. But I think you can make an argument that no team in the NBA has done more this offseason, period, than the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, the biggest free agent who changed teams is Miles Turner. That's the biggest contract that's been given out for a guy who went from one team to another. Then there's never been a bigger wave and stretch provision in the history of the NBA than what the Bucks did, paying Damian Lillard out to allow him to be a free agent while he was hurt. And then, listen, I don't think Cole Anthony is the biggest deal in the world, but that was a buyout guy in the Desmond Bane trade who is top 5 in the NBA in bench points and bench assists. He's a nice backup good backup point guard. The Bucks are saying, we are going to be aggressive. We are going to try because we have a top 3 player in the sport who's in his prime who wants to be here. So they have done as they always have. When they went out and got Doc Rivers, when they went out and got Damian Lillard, when they went out and got Drew Holiday. Like, they have been hyper-aggressive around Giannis every step of the way. Will this work? Probably not.
I don't think they're going to win a title, but because of the East, and we'll say it a million times between now and October.
Correct.
And then a million more after that. Noah Halliburton, the Pacers are done. No Tatum, the Celtics are done. Now they also take the next best player, arguably, maybe not, but certainly third best player, off Indiana and Miles, right? And they also play in the East. So they get better, and they knock a competitor down another notch but with the Turner trade. Look, I don't think Milwaukee is good enough to win a championship. I'm not alone in saying that. We all agree. But because of the current health stature of the Eastern Conference, he is a good enough player alone that once you get to the playoffs, could they win a series? Yes. Could they win a second series? Maybe. Could they win a title? I don't think so. But look, there are going to be trades and a lot of movement, obviously, at the trade deadline. There's no doubt in my mind about that, specifically in the East, as they jockey for who's the best team. Right now, I think it's the Knicks and Cavs are clearly the 2 best teams with a chance to go to an NBA final. and then after that, probably say Orlando and maybe Milwaukee. So they're in that conversation. Could they be a 4 seed? Absolutely.
Sure.
Is he a good enough player to carry them into the second round? Absolutely.
This is about we've done what we can do to help support Giannis. We've done the best we can do with what we had available to us. And there's enough attrition with injuries in the East that we're right there in the thick of things, the top 4 or 5 team, right?
I know this seems silly, and you guys are going to mock me for it. They're also bringing his brother back who can't play. That's a move from an organization taking up a roster spot to remind you, guess what? We love you. We want you.
I don't think that's silly at all. They have done whatever they can in the margins and with superstars to help Giannis.
How does that compare? How does that compare to the Lakers bringing in Bronny? It's bad. That's a bad thing. But Giannis and his brother is good.
They're both stupid things because you're using up a roster spot in a guy who can't play. But if I got to kiss your ass to make sure I keep you because of your ridiculous talent, I will waste the roster spot on your brother who cannot play because I think it's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Thanasis, though. Great podcast. But the other thing, too, is like, yes, the goal of pro sports is to win a title.
Is it?
But there are other things that are successful seasons.
Yes.
Like, what if Giannis says, you know what? I'm just going to be a point center this year, and I'm going to try to have the Russell Westbrook season from like 6 years ago and average a triple-double, does what Joker did, and grinds out 50 wins, averages a triple-double, and wins his 3rd MVP. And there have only been 9 guys in NBA history to have 3 or more MVPs. Bucks fans would sign for that right
100%.
now. An MVP season, a 50-win season, a playoff season, and another immortal season for Giannis. That is a massive success as he continues to build his Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant-like legacy. Now, not in terms of titles, but in terms of top 20 player all time who plays for one franchise his entire career.
Yep.
Like that is what I think this is going towards here. Does he play somewhere else at some point? Maybe. Most do. But it's not going to happen as soon as the rest of the league wants it.
No, he even joked on I forget whose podcast it was, doesn't matter, last week, about how everyone in his world is telling him to go play for the Knicks. And he was like, nah, like, I'm good. Like, at some point, we all have to accept the fact that he's good.
Yeah.
He's happy.
Yeah, like, by the way, he makes as much money in Milwaukee as other guys make in L.A. and New York. Milwaukee's a better style of living for my money. Those Wisconsin people are very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Wisconsin people are very nice.
nice.
And, you know, we just have this desire to put them in the big markets, right? The great players
because
in
we
the
either
big
love
markets.
or by default we hate the top 6 markets in every sport. Comes with the territory.
Right.
And we can't fathom in our brains, if you had a chance, because you're one of the greatest players to ever play, in your prime, man, if you had a chance to play in L.A., Chicago, New York, what do you mean you don't want to?
Right.
That doesn't jive the way we process things because we're not that guy.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the markets, and we don't really think you can win. So we want to see you win.
Right.
So we don't want your age 31 season to be on a team that is going to grind out 47 wins.
Right.
We want to see you be on a 2 seed and go play with another couple of Hall of Famers.
Why don't you go to New York where they always win championships?
Yeah.
In our heads, we do.
Yeah.
New York, I've always said this, because I'm a New Yorker. I do think, I'm a Knick guy. I haven't won since '73. We have over-exaggerated how good a city, from a basketball talent standpoint, New York is for a very long time.
That's big of you to admit.
I have to own that.
Yeah, really?
Like, we talk about New York like it's like there is nobody else when it comes to basketball. And yes, we've had ridiculous players, Hall of Fame players that grew up and were born and raised on the mean streets of New York.
Well, sure.
But college, we don't win anything. And we have St. John's here, and maybe they will this year with Rick Pitino. We have developed this ridiculous notion that New York City is the capital of the basketball world.
I am gobsmacked. What happened to you while I was on vacation?
I hate to say it, but it's not.
Yeah.
That sounds.
No kidding.
You know what? That sounds like facts.
That is
Hey,
a
Danny,
fact.
take it away for facts.
Can we just repeat his fact? That was fantastic. But I get back to New York, and everyone's talking about Juan Soto All-Star snub. Seiya Suzuki a bigger snub. Fact. I'm sorry. Juan Soto, nice contract. if I want to tune into the All-Star game to see walks, Juan Soto would be my guy. He leads baseball in walks. Seiya Suzuki, let's put it up. Let's go side by side.
Let's do it.
All right? 25 home runs, that's more than 23. What? 77, that's way more than 57. In fact, 77, that's the most in the entire National League. Way more extra base hits. And for you win folks out there, the first place Cubs have more wins than the Mets. So the Phillies have some gripes. Juan Soto, I suppose you got a gripe. But Seiya Suzuki is your biggest all-star snub.
I mean, look, his numbers are better. Baseball more than any other sport are about numbers,
team,
right?
On a first-place team.
Yeah.
Come on, Seiya, get in there.
All right, I go.
Exactly.
There's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Tristan Wirfs. Hey, I don't know if you guys follow this stuff, but I do. Yeah, offensive line, it's my passion. And guess what? A survey of GMs, of scouts, of coaches have said that Tristan Wirfs is now the #1 tackle in football. He's supplanted a couple of guys like Trent Williams, one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah, you better not
he
tell
jumped
Trent
over
this.
the top. Trent, I still love you. You went down to 4th. But
Fourth?
yeah, right. Tristan Wirfs, Penei Sewell, Lane Johnson, then Trent Williams. So big time.
I
big
would
time.
just say this: if you get to call a San Francisco 49er game this year on Fox, I'm going to put a call into Trent Williams before you do that game.
You are?
Yeah, to see how it works.
Trent and I are tired of the mouse nuts.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Not when he sees this clip.
Oh, yeah. Well, Trent, he's always been my #1 guy.
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't know if you know this, but I'm no longer a player. I'm not a coach. I'm not a GM or a scout.
Got it. You're just
So,
a
You weren't in the poll.
They didn't ask me.
Yeah.
Just a humble broadcast.
Here's mine. This is not like up for debate. This is a fact. All right. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Like we can argue.
You really have changed.
We can argue your stuff.
Right.
I'm just going to give you an actual tangible fact. We are 7 Sundays away from the opening Sunday of the NFL season. Fact. Give me my music, please.
Oh, wow.
It's a dance hit for all the kids in the clubs. We used to go roller skating to this back in the 70s. You may not remember that, Danny.
I don't.
Woo! NFL football is back. All you got to do is get through 6 more Sundays, and then on the 7th Sunday that God created, we get NFL football back. Right. Thank you. Yeah,
that's exciting. That is fair. You looked at the
look,
calendar.
a meaningless touchdown by the Chiefs to Xavier Worthy.
Well, I mean, they didn't play in the Super Bowl.
What was that, the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Down 40?
That was meaningless.
I'm sure it was OPI that didn't get called too. I would imagine.
This bitterness to come back.
Push off. Always a push off.
Yeah, always a push off, stiff arm. You know how it goes.
Typical Kansas City.
All right, hey, coming up, Christian McCaffrey looks ready to run in 2025, but can he carry the Niners to Super Bowl 60? We discuss Christian and the Niners.
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao, a new kind of flavored sparkling water. The kind made with real fruit juice, a pinch of Sicilian salt, and the sparkle of the Italian sun. With no added sugar and just 10 or less calories per can, enjoy. With love, from Italy. By San Pellegrino Ciao now.
Next on Breakfast Ball. Welcome back into Breakfast Ball. So 2024 was a season to forget for Christian McCaffrey, playing only in 4 games due to his injuries. So the impact he can have on the 49ers, here's fullback Kyle Juszczyk on Christian. Christian's arguably the best player in the NFL. He was the Offensive Player of the Year 2 years ago. He changes everything. He looks incredible. He looks so healthy. He looks so explosive. So, are you buying that Christian McCaffrey is ready to go in 2025?
Okay, well, so that I don't know. Is he ready? I don't know his health. The video from OTAs and minicamp looks good, but I think everything that Kyle Juszczyk said makes perfect sense, and it's what I've been saying when we talked about the Niners anytime this offseason. Like, if you told me Christian McCaffrey is 100% of himself and he will play in all of the games, then of course he changes everything. Like that year where he won Offensive Player of the Year, he led the league in rushing yards, yards from scrimmage, total touches, and total touchdowns. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And every running back produces under Kyle Shanahan, and so then you give Kyle Shanahan an elite talent who played 16 games that year. Yes, it changes everything. The problem is Christian McCaffrey is 29 years old, and he missed significant time in 2020, 2021, and 2024. Right. And so we can show it. Like they gave up a lot to get Christian McCaffrey. via the trade, and then they've signed him. And when he's been there, on the left right there, 2022, 2023, played in 27 games, missed one. They went 22-6 and scored 29 a game.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Last year, he plays in 4 games. They go 6-11, and they score 23 points a game. So, yes, he objectively changes everything for them. I just don't know if he'll be there this year, and I don't know how anybody could.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things is most of the injuries that he has suffered are not significant, like joint. They're soft tissue issues.
Is that a good thing, though, or a bad thing? Well, it could be recurring.
It could be either. Like, one of the things I know, and I've known Christian since he was born, so one of the things about Christian is that dude trains like none other. And so I think he's readjusted kind of the amount of work he's doing, because sometimes I think he puts himself out so maximum effort in the offseason that he wears himself down a little bit. So we'll see exactly how that works. But I think the one thing about him, calling him a running back is probably not fair. This dude is an offensive weapon in the passing game. When you look at what Christian McCaffrey provides to the San Francisco 49ers, I think the biggest thing is all the different places they implement Christian McCaffrey. Now, the greens are catches. And I don't really know what this means other than to say that he catches the ball all over the place. and you can see how many outside the number catches he had in 2023. It's all over the place. And because you can line him up, you can do so many different things with him, and he can run routes as though he were a wide receiver. So he is one of those ultimate weapons, catching the football out of the backfield, presents something that defenses have to contend with, and they have to make decisions. Are we going to play you in nickel? Are we going to play you in base? Are we going to play you in dime? Because Christian is that good a wide receiver. And then when you look at the yards that he has caught for outside the numbers and just the different factors that he has, actually, he is one of the top guys. 2022 and 2023, you can see he was number 2 as far as those yards outside the number on receptions are concerned. So the guy is just a dynamic receiver when he has the ball, and he changes the math on offense because you have to equate for him as a defensive unit. So he's a dude that is the difference. If he is healthy, they are a legit Super Bowl contender.
I'm trying to figure out what the story is here. Like, 3 is more than 2, correct?
Yeah.
So, like, if I came out and said that, would that be newsworthy? Like, yeah, we know that. You're right. It's obvious. You have the stats to back it up. You're showing, how his ability outside of the backfield, not running the ball, but catching the ball. Like, we're all very well aware, I think, that when McCaffrey's healthy, he's the best player in the league. Period. Stop. Certainly the best running back, but overall the best player, which is why 90% of us and the people watching this show right now over the last 5 years have picked him first in their fantasy football drafts 4 out of the last 5 years, if not 5 out of 5, because when that dude is healthy, he's a numbers machine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. Tell me something I didn't know, though. Like, I know that, you know that, you know that. We all know it. Even Steady Eddie, his dad, is well aware when my kid's healthy, he's the best weapon in the NFL. And maybe Saquon's a close second, but he's second.
Yeah, and I think that's why no one likes to predict injury. And so it feels like it's unfair.
Right.
Like, what? He's healthy. He's going to play. But he'll be there week 1. Is he going to be there week 4, week 6? Like, is he now considered injury prone?
Yes. You can't say he's not.
The data suggests that he is. You're talking about it being soft tissue versus joints. Like, I don't know how to do the math on that one, but it feels to me like he is injury prone, and I would say don't draft him first in fantasy football.
Right.
But like,
it's so alluring. Like, how do you not?
Well, that's the thing, because if he plays 16 games, he will absolutely put up the numbers that Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs or Saquon Barkley are going to put up this year.
You know what I wonder, Mark? I wonder for you if you blame his father. Because I've seen these videos. They've been out for a long time. Ed McCaffrey, great wide receiver, Super Bowl champion with you. Obviously, with the Denver Broncos, has his own ketchup. It's a big deal in Denver. That being said,
mustard's better.
The mustard is a little bit better. I agree.
Yeah.
That being said, Eddie McCaffrey, when he was in high school, when Christian was in high school, used to be on his ass about every wasted second or every wasted motion. Like, why are you doing that? Like, why aren't you running to practice versus walking to practice? All these like crazy parent things that is now quite, you
famous, can't wear
right?
jeans on game day. It weighs down your legs.
Like crazy stuff, like, Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs type stuff. But he got him to the NFL. He's obviously a rock star in the NFL. I wonder if Ed McCaffrey now, because A, he played, great wide receiver, B's his dad, now acknowledges maybe you can wear jeans on a Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? But like the training regimen, which got him to where he is, so I'm not knocking it, right? Maybe you got to change that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that has happened this season is understanding that I have worked myself to the point where, I have fatigue and exhaustion even when I'm coming in. So being better about, hey man, I'm getting older. My body requires a little bit more rest than it did in the past.
Right.
I think just from a weaponry standpoint, though, you have to understand Kyle Shanahan will use multiple tight ends. He'll use multiple backs. And one of the issues that you get into when you have two backs in the backfield, which we would call base, just your base formation, right? You're running, your defense usually is going to say, okay, we're going to counter that with 3 linebackers. Well, if McCaffrey is one of those backs and you have another back in there, now you have to say, well, he could become actually a slot receiver or an outside receiver. So now we have to say, man, how are we going to match this? And which way are we going to, how are we going to designate that? And now you're usually going to come in with, hey, let's take one of those backers out, put a nickel guy in, put a DB in, put a corner in. And so it becomes one of those cat and mouse games between offensive coordinator, defense coordinator. And that's one of the reasons he's so valuable. When he goes out, you no longer have that because nobody looks at, hey, they win with 2 backs, but that other dude's not really a threat.
You can replace the running back production, but you cannot replace the Swiss Army knife aspect of it.
Right, exactly. And that's what makes him so incredibly valuable.
Which is why San Fran's going to win that division and make a deep run into the playoffs.
Agreed. And also because they have La Machine, because he's one of the top 10, or one of your top 5-10 quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's so funny to me that they gave Brock Purdy the mega contract, which I totally support. I think he earned it and deserves it. So I'm glad he got it. But even the starting fullback is telling you, we only go as far as Christian McCaffrey takes us.
Right.
Like, he did not come out and say, McCaffrey's huge, but thank God we got Brock Purdy locked up because now I know we have great quarterback play for the next 3 to 5 years. He did come out and say, man, I hope McCaffrey's healthy.
Right.
Well, because it's a unique thing. Like, we talk about an Eagles team. If Saquon got hurt, their offensive line is still awesome. Their receiver duo is still awesome. They had a 1,000-yard back with Gainwell the year before. Yeah, DeAndre Swift. Yeah, no, you're good. But, that's not what we say about San Francisco.
Right.
We say they've got talent and a great coach, but that's the real guy. McCaffrey is the real guy. There is not another, even Derrick Henry. Oh, it's Lamar. And then Derrick Henry is this unbelievable piece that goes next to him, right? He is the only real running back that we talk about that is the entirety of the system. And so that's just, they're a hard team to evaluate because I have no idea if he's going to be healthy this year.
Yeah, we're going to find out in 7 Sundays.
It is time for Alec Carton. Take it away, Craig.
It might take me a second or 2 to get over there.
Back still a little tender?
Shot a 71 yesterday. Yeah, but my back's killing me.
You only played 9?
Yeah, exactly.
My guy right there. All right, we call this the ladies' European basketball. All right, it's the U18 team. So these gals are no older than 17. That's right. Let the video play. Let's take a look at what we're looking at. La Isla Bonita. All right, we get the steal and the breakaway from a 17-year-old French gal. Does she A, unfortunately, slip and fall and kick the ball out of bounds like, I don't know, Bronny James did the other day? Does she B, totally whiff on the layup like, I don't know, Angel Reese does all the time? Or does she C, come in with a 2-handed rim-rocking dunk and announce herself as the next great women's basketball player on the planet? Stay tuned for the dramatic conclusion to this breakaway right.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
After this. All right, U18 European basketball. France is one of these teams. There's the steal and the breakaway. But what happens next? Does this young gal, well, it says there's slips and falls, but I didn't come up with that one. Does she kick the ball out of bounds like Bronny James did on a breakaway in Las Vegas?
I'm sorry, I missed
Does it B2? Does she crank the layup like Angel Reese typically does? Or C, two-handed slamma jamma dunk in your grill?
I'm going rim rocker. Two-handed dunk.
Yeah. Well, certainly not A.
No, A is out.
Yeah.
So, I'll take two-handed dunk for the win.
All right, let's see if the 17-year-old French gal, a two-handed rim rocker.
Wow.
First French person to dunk since Wemby. Yeah, I checked on that. That's factual, too.
I don't believe you.
And now she's 17 years old. I don't know her name, but I'm sure we're going to see her playing one day in the WNBA because, bang,
that's
two-handed.
big time, man.
And that's a legitimate 10-foot rim. That's no joke. So good for her. Nice job.
Very impressive.
That's the payoff.
Yeah, we got that one. Yeah, we won. It is time now for First and Football. We start with first down. Speedy wide receiver Xavier Worthy had 638 yards in his rookie season, providing a deep threat for Patrick Mahomes. So what should Worthy expect in 2025? Here's Worthy on what head coach Andy Reid said his expectations for the receiver were.
Oh, man. Coach Reid told us during OTAs phase 1 that when you come back, get your hamstrings ready. So we kind of knew that we were going to be going a little deep in practice. So we kind of got our bodies and got our minds ready to what we were going to be doing in practice.
So does Mahomes need Worthy to step up his game and become like a legit go-to guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the story of the Chiefs' offense the last couple of years is where have the big plays gone?
Yep.
Right? That's been the story. They've been winning. They've been winning close games. The teams have been playing too high and daring Mahomes to complete 10, 12, 14 plays and the drives to matriculate down the field. And the 5,000-yard, 50-touchdown season, that's now not ancient history, but it is part of his history.
2018. Pretty ancient.
Not his present.
Long time.
Xavier Worthy looked great in the Super Bowl.
In the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter of a 40, blowout.
Down 40.
Yeah. But Hollywood Brown, Rasheed Rice, and Xavier Worthy played 0 snaps together last year.
Rice is going to prison. Hollywood Brown's always injured. And your guy had his best game in the fourth quarter of a blowout.
All right. Well, so does he need him to step up? Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Why don't you hooligans take it away?
Look, they've been able to win with small ball. They've won with the big play, obviously going back to Tyreek Hill. Quite famously, since Tyreek went to Miami, the deep ball has not been as big a part of their offense as it used to be.
Right, it's just been the winning.
But they've been able to win without it. So whether it's dink and dunk, I think 2 years ago was in the stat like only had 5 completed passes more than 20 yards down the field and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they won a Super Bowl while leading the league in drops.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Tough to do.
they're unique in that he's so good, Mahomes, and Andy Reid are calling plays. They can beat you a million different ways.
But is he so good? Because I was on the lake. I was boating.
Yes,
I was having beers at 10 in the morning. Having a great time.
Yeah.
Trying to stay off my phone.
As you should.
But I'm an elder millennial, and I'm addicted. And so I would get on my phone, and I saw you disrespect Patrick Mahomes.
How's that?
Yeah.
By having him second to Joe Burrow.
I know. I'm telling you what.
After putting him second to Burrow on his top 5 quarterback list, he then went back online. I saw this yesterday, and made apologies for having him second, and moved him to 4th.
Right. Well, see, I do want to apologize.
I did. That.
I got a lot of grief on social media, as you can imagine.
Shocking,
especially with Kansas City fans, but that know I'm a Denver guy, right? They attacked me. They attacked my integrity, my character. They said it was all about hate, and so I felt poorly about it. And so, I dug into the film a little bit over the weekend. I really studied.
Yep.
And I would like to apologize to everybody in Kansas City because you're 100% right. I did rank him incorrectly. So here's my new rankings, the quarterbacks that start in the AFC. So you've got Burrow 1, and then you got Lamar, and then Allen, who won the MVP last year. Then I'll slightly slide Mahomes in just over Stafford. Maybe I feel bad about not having Jalen Hurts in there, but that's my new list. AFC quarterbacks, Stafford not included there. Those are my 4.
Okay, well, it's a mind-numbing thought.
I think you give Mark another week, he might be 9th.
He'd still be in my top 5 at 9.
It's funny because Mark called me this week and he's like, listen, I feel bad. I had him 2nd. I really want to put him 4th. And I said, then put him 4th. And he put him 4th. And he said, the reason is it's been a couple years since he even won an MVP.
It's been a couple years since he won an MVP, but it hasn't been a couple of years since he beat all the guys on that list in playoff games. If you guys would just like to show that, Stank, you always drop your rings on the table.
Right.
Mahomes is 17-4 in the playoffs. Those guys that you had right ahead of him, I guess now.
Yeah, those were my regular season rankings. I'm surprised there wasn't a little drop line.
Oh, regular season rankings?
Yeah, my regular season rankings.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
To be fair, he beat, Tua in 40 below zero weather. Are we really counting that?
And Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
Yeah, well,
seems like it's
Mark Andrews forgot how to catch. What are we going to do? We moved to 2nd down. It's a year ago, or a year to forget for Jalen Waddle in Miami. Career low 744 yards. His first year under 1,000 yards since entering the league. Here's Waddle on what went down. After watching the film, definitely had a lot of hand-eye coordination. I feel like I'm trying to move without the ball too much, and just the simple things, just timing, getting smoother, and in and out of my routes, pretty much all that stuff. So, can Waddle and the Dolphins bounce back this season?
Look, the Bills are going to win the division. Can Miami at least push them a little bit? If everybody plays their best football, yeah, I think they could. I question their defense, have for a long time. I don't know why Chris Greer is still their general manager. He's been terrible at the job. I think there's, for the first time since Mike McDaniel got to Miami, there's a little bit of pressure on making the playoffs and winning a playoff game because he's never won a playoff game down there. But here's what I love about this particular quote. From a position that has become the position of cockiness, right? The wide receiver who wants to make $40 million a year and, I'm always open. That self-introspection about the things I didn't do well and to take the time to sit alone in a room and watch your game film and recognize I'm not doing things that I'm capable of doing. If I'm a Dolphins fan, and I've never won a playoff game this century, I love that at least. That shows me that's a professional who's going to come back and, knock on wood, have a better year.
This is a huge transitional year for the Dolphins. When Tua was healthy and played all 17 games, their offense was great. It was a great offense. Now, fell apart when it was 40 degrees below zero in that game at Arrowhead, but they were a great regular season offense, and over the course of that season, they had a tremendous amount of injuries to their defensive front seven. They had no pass rush, and it probably put a ceiling on what they were as a team. I could see the Dolphins moving off of Tua after this year. I could see them trading Tyreek Hill after this year. I could see them trying to go younger and getting a top draft pick in a couple of years. I don't know if they keep Mike McDaniel or not, if they wanted him to be there for the transition. But to me, this is a year where the Dolphins have to be looking at it as, we need to win a playoff game to justify this whole operation. So Jalen Waddle is a huge piece of that. He can be better. He has been better than he was last year, and I expect him to be. He's really talented.
The Dolphins are interesting to me because they are one of the most talented teams, like top to bottom, and Mike McDaniels is unbelievable when it comes to out-scheming you, right? Getting guys in positions to catch the ball or run the ball.
That's why I think he's going to be safe.
Spaces.
That's why I think they'll keep him.
Yeah, but I would tell you, when push comes to shove and they get into one of those kind of slow down, like that 40-degree game you're talking, or that 40 below game you're talking about, or playoff, when things slow down and somebody just puts a physical whooping on them, they fold like a cheap suit.
Yep.
And that's their biggest issue. So can they overcome that? And that's probably one of the reasons they've made some of the changes they've made this offseason.
To be fair, though, like Mike McDaniel went 9-8. They lost that playoff game with a backup quarterback. To be fair,
that's a huge piece
and played their asses off in Buffalo. Lost the game. They lost the wild card game in 40 below, which everyone kind of gives them a pass on. And they were 8-9. Right? Like at some point, the Bills have Josh Allen. I get it. Best quarterback in the division, not up for debate. But talent-wise, from a depth standpoint, the Bills do not have the most talented roster in the AFC or in the NFL. And if the Dolphins think that the combination of Waddle and Tyreek and a slightly above average, maybe, Tua, you should press the Bills for the division. I don't think the Jets are good enough to do it. I don't think the Patriots are there yet. First year under a new coach, of course. Second year under Drake May. If you're Miami, what's the excuse?
Right. Well, hey, when the game grinds.
Like Josh Allen didn't throw over 4,000 yards last year, and you didn't come close to beating them for the division.
When the game grinds to a halt, and you can no longer just outskill people, that's where the Miami Dolphins struggle, and that's what they need to fix.
And their defense has stunk. Like they had the year, 2 years ago with Mostert, led the league in touchdowns.
Yep.
You've got 2 stud wide receivers. Sure. You had a good tight end situation, and people keep telling me, I don't believe it, that Tua is a top 7 or 8 quarterback. When does that happen? When does Tua?
Well, like now is the time. If it doesn't happen this year, then you got to blow things up.
Because they pay him like he's let's say top 10. They pay him like he's a top 10 quarterback. When do we get to see? And I respect the fact the concussions, right? I'm shocked he's even playing. That being said, dude's being paid like a top 10 quarterback. Yeah. When does he start playing like one?
Yeah, you think there's pressure on Tua. How about Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence got a new toy with Jacksonville to play on the offense. That's Travis Hunter. Here's Lawrence on Hunter and the adjustment to the NFL. Take a listen.
Travis has been great. Just his work ethic, how he's come in. He's been, one of the hardest working guys we have. I think his commitment to learning the playbook and trying to learn the new system. It's a lot as a rookie. It's challenging to learn everything. And he's done a nice job. And we still have some work to do. And we're gonna get a lot done in training camp and get us ready to play come September. But I'm really excited for him and how he's gonna help our team.
Well, I would rather ask Travis Hunter what he thinks that Trevor Lawrence has to do better, because Trevor Lawrence has been a big disappointment, which is why the NFL always stayed away from guaranteed contracts at this level, even for quarterbacks. Because you said something going into the setup there. You talk about pressure. There's pressure on the Jaguars. Your words, not mine. Yeah. Right? Once you have a guaranteed $300, $250 million coming into your bank account, there's no more any pressure. Now, some guys still are gym rats and want to improve. Not every guy does, which is why the NFL is now learning the valuable lesson they knew 20 years ago. Don't give out guaranteed contracts, because that's not the way to get the best out of your players. But Trevor Lawrence has been an unmitigated disaster in Jacksonville based on being the #1 pick and getting the $250 million guaranteed contract. So as much as Travis Hunter would never say this, and it's not his personality to, man, what are you doing? I know what I bring to the table. What are you going to do as my starting quarterback?
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence doesn't have to tell me what he expects Travis Hunter to do. I want to know what Trevor Lawrence is going to do.
This is Trevor Lawrence has got to prove that he was worth the #1 overall pick, and that is this year.
The money. Forget about the pick. It's 5 years later. Is he worth the contract?
Well, I mean,
he's making $50 million this year.
Whether he's worth the contract or not, he's got to. This is the year he's got to play. He's got to prove that he is worth. That you made the right decision. Because one of the things about him, athletically unbelievably gifted. You watch him throw the ball. This guy has got all those tools, but sometimes the tools don't all come together. And you talk about the inconsistency with which he plays. It's an issue.
Yeah, to me, it's weird for someone like me to say it about someone like him, because obviously he is physically so unbelievably gifted. It feels like it's a between the ears thing. Like, he just makes dumb mistakes. He throws bad interceptions. He fumbles at the wrong time. He gets careless at the wrong time. He takes risks at the wrong time. But in terms of 6'6", rocket for an arm, like that old, like the Peyton Manning stereotype, he looks the part.
Sure.
He can put the ball wherever he wants it. But I like the idea of, yeah, he is out of excuses, because last year they hit a grand slam with their first round. Brian Thomas Jr. was an unbelievable player,
big time player
as a rookie. They've done everything possible for Trevor Lawrence. This is his third coach?
Yeah.
And now they hired Liam Cohen, who helped Baker Mayfield. So it's an offensive head coach and a new play caller. They draft Travis Hunter. They drafted Brian Thomas. They also, it was a controversial pick, they drafted Travis Etienne when he came into the league. His college teammate hasn't really worked out, but another offensive weapon who was supposed to help Trevor Lawrence. They've done everything possible to help Trevor Lawrence. He hasn't helped himself.
And Liam Cohen comes in here as the head coach, and in OTA say the first thing is from the ground up, we need to rebuild him. We've got to recreate his footwork, like the inconsistency things. You talk about the mind-numbing interceptions that he throws and stuff. A lot of that stuff comes with inaccurate balls, inaccurate timing. And that comes from footwork.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot be on time if your feet aren't right. You cannot be accurate if your feet aren't right. So it all starts from the ground up, and that's one of the things about Trevor Lawrence. But that's one of the things that just irritates you. Like, how can you be so sloppy? You're the number 1 overall pick. You've been coached by some really good coaches, right? And you still have these same issues that you came into the league with.
I'll tell you why,
as
because the money's been guaranteed. We've seen it a million times before in sports. Once the money's guaranteed, it's a wrap for some guys.
I don't buy that. I think with him, I think he loses his mind. Like, uber competitive, want to go make a play, like you talked about that slide that knocked him out and got Al Shair, suspended, and like all those decisions. Dude, you're the quarterback getting $250 million guaranteed. They already paid you. You can't re-earn it.
And then remember when they gave him Calvin Ridley?
Smart.
Oh, that's going to make a big difference. And they drafted Thomas. We have a legit duo now. And how'd that play itself out?
He might not be.
He's not.
He might not
Which
be.
is why don't sleep on my Tennessee Titans this year. An upstart team with the least talked about number 1 overall pick in the history of football. Cam Ward, 17, blue on 16 on red. You watch Cam Ward. Cam Ward's a 4,000-yard guarantee this year. You all sleeping on the Titans like that.
All right, it is time for Craig Carton to wake up call.
Number 3, Tyler Stevenson is the slowest guy on the Reds. He's like, you know what? I want a double. And I don't know how to slide, but I don't need to because I'm safe.
That's
because I'm playing against the Colorado Rockies.
That's crafty.
And the Rockies need more Tom Amansky baseball videos. Tag the man. He's 900 pounds, but somehow he evades the tag, gets his hands out of the base. Tyler Stevenson, you, my friend, get an extra base hit. Number 2, let's go to ladies golf. This is Grace Kim. She needs an eagle on 18 to force a playoff. Bounces past the hole. That's going to be a tough eagle putt. But there's a little something called gravity. I think I can. Within a foot of the cup, makes the eagle putt. Yeah. We go into the playoff, and that's right, Grace Kim is your victor. Wins it in the playoff. Congratulations. But none of it would have happened without that great approach shot on the par 5 18th, which she eagles. And then, of course, we go to Johanse Connor, Adidas future stars, 5'7" Connor with the throw down in your face. What's up there, kid?
Switch hands.
That is your number 1 wake-up call. He flushes it strong and hard, and then he says to his teammates,
what does he say?
Cock-a-doodle-doo! Hey, coming up next, 2 games all the Mavs needed to see. But are we convinced Flagg's the greatest thing since sliced bread? Is
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe to clean that stuck-on sauce from the stove feels like...
Oh, boy. That tickles. Stop.
It feels like coming home to your needy corgi after a long day.
Best part of the day, finally.
With Clorox. Clean feels carefree. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Sliced bread that great? We discuss next on Breakfast Ball. 2 games is all the Mavericks needed to see, guys. After scoring 31 points in the second Summer League game against Dylan Harper and the Spurs, the Mavs have shut Flagg down for the rest of Summer League. Seen enough from Flagg this summer. They've seen enough from Flagg this summer to prove that he's a star, Craig?
A star? No. but we know that he could play NBA basketball, and I recognize that a lot of the guys are kind of G League guys, tweeners between the G League and playing regular minutes in the NBA. But all I needed to see was how many shots the kid took, because that tells me where his head's at. And I know they mocked me last week, but I used the Kobe comparison. Kobe as a rookie.
He's Kobe.
I like that.
Who was not afraid to keep shooting the
well,
rock.
They clearly told him, go be aggressive,
shoot,
kid.
Right.
Yeah, that's clearly was the coaching here.
In game one, his shot didn't fall, but the shots were good, and he had a lot of clean looks. He just didn't knock him down.
Kobe.
In game two, he made his baskets. He drove to the hoop a little bit more, had some more layups.
Yeah, he got fouled.
Had a couple extra dunks, had some free throws as well. But now you got to wait. We got a little taste, a little glimpse. I think he delivered the goods 2 games into the Summer League. And now we'll see him again in September, October for the preseason. And then game 1 of the NBA. Guys, check me who the Mavericks open with. It'll be on TV.
yeah.
You have my word. I guarantee that.
National game.
100% because
what a surprising
when
choice
you're the
to
number
put the
one
game on
overall
TV.
pick, and Danny made the point, I don't argue it at all. Wemby was the last, phenom, alleged phenom to come in. And while I think his game needs a lot more improvement, he has done a really good job. Unfortunately, had the blood clots last year, but defensively was everything you'd want him to be, and had some flashes offensively. This kid's going to be under the same microscope, and he's not 7'7". So he's going to be your typical NBA player. Can he make the mid-range jumper, which is his money shot? I think he'll get that shot off. I question defensively, who's he going to guard, because he's going to be guarding great athletes. And if I'm one of those guys who's the wingman, and all of a sudden I line up and like, Cooper Flagg's got me, give me the rock.
He's going to be tested,
right?
Sure.
He'll be tested for sure. I don't see a weakness in his game, though. Like, how bad can he be defensively if he's an above-average athlete and he's 6'9"?
And he, by the way, and he gives effort.
Yeah, so I don't think he will be some huge liability. He's not 6'2" out there. He's not slow. So I don't think that's going to be a huge problem. The physicality, the length of the season, adjusting to the NBA, all of that. But he could have scored 0 in the Summer League. They could have held him out. He could have gone 0 for 21. And I would think he's going to be a star because I saw him at Duke. And I know how
seen a lot of guys at Duke not become stars.
I know, but it's not about Duke. It's about seeing him in college and his age, and he reclassified, and he's going into the NBA just 9 days older than LeBron did when LeBron went straight from high school, and this kid had a year of college basketball under his belt. Like, the Summer League is more for those fringe roster guys, the G League guys, to get a team together, to try out coaches, and to just get your team together in some form or fashion in Vegas, where guys will show up and do some camaraderie because it's Vegas. Star players, let's just look at it. Victor Wembanyama 2 years ago against Cooper Flagg. They both had bad debuts in the Summer League.
Sure.
Neither one of them were impressive. Only made a couple of field goals, bad efficiency, only made 1 3-pointer between the two of them, 9 points, 10 points. Then, game 2, Wembanyama and Cooper Flagg were both absolutely dominant. But the key thing is there at the bottom. They were both shut down after the second game. All the Spurs wanted to see from Wemby and all the Mavericks wanted to see from Cooper Flagg is have one good game as a professional with Spurs across your chest or with Mavericks across your chest, and then the Summer League really isn't for you. It's for the guys who maybe are going to be the 10th or 11th or 12th guy on the roster, or maybe are going to be G League, or maybe trying to grind out a pro career, because Zion didn't do anything in Summer League. He got hurt in his first Summer League game. They shut him down. Anthony Davis, they didn't even bother. These are the guys that are franchise-defining players, at least in theory when you draft them. You don't risk those guys in these games. You could say that that's wrong. You could say it's dumb. There's only 7 games. He should play in all of them. You can make that argument, but the teams don't.
There's a risk-reward factor that goes on here, and you look at him right now. The risk of injury is greater than any benefit you're going to get from Summer League. We saw him not only continue to shoot the basketball, but we saw him play some defense. We saw court awareness. We saw spacing. We saw fast break points. We saw dunks. I mean, we saw the guy do just about everything, steals. And those are the things, to me, when you watch him, you can say, oh, yeah, he's got basketball acumen. Like, they blitzed him right off the bat, and the first time he touched the ball, passed it off, got the ball back, and got to his spot on the floor, got a great shot up, missed it. That was the first game. But his shot got better in the second game. There's more benefit to Cooper Flagg now shutting it down, continue to work on his basketball skills, but to be in the weight room, to be in the gym, to continue to grow, to continue to work out, to get stronger so that he can, prepare himself for the rigors of an 82 NBA game schedule.
And they're going to, and he probably won't play 82 games because most guys don't, but he's in a very unique spot. He will be compared to Luka Doncic, which is more for us. That's more like narrative.
And unfair to him.
Yeah, of course. But it's more like narrative pressure, outside noise stuff that he will have to deal with as an 18-year-old. And that'll be in Dallas, too. That's not just going to be national people. He will be compared to Luka. But then also, Kyrie's hurt. AD doesn't play every game. And they expect to win. So there's going to be a level of pressure and evaluation. I'm like, are you scoring 20 in wins? Are you scoring 20 efficiently? Like, are you making winning plays? That's not normally how we talk about 18-year-old rookies, but that is how we are going to be judging him. So it's a unique spot. So Summer League means nothing.
Yeah, that's all. It's going to be a very interesting team because if Kyrie comes back before the playoffs, and I think the last update was playoffs at best, which seems a little long based on when he got hurt.
I thought they were hoping for January.
If he comes back and is Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis isn't blind, no joke, because of the detached retina, which is a serious situation, the Mavericks are the second or third best team in the West. The Mavericks are a problem for people.
They are. If this kid is what he's supposed to be.
Nico Harrison, General Manager of the Year. Anybody? Any takers?
For Executive of the Year.
Any takers? 5-year extension?
Blind luck. Blind luck being a strategy. Good for you.
Can you imagine if he gets LeBron?
The Mavericks go to the Western Conference Finals, second time in 3 years, and they lose. Whatever. Nico Harrison's like up for Executive of the Year.
That's right.
Yeah, it would be
right?
Then he just stands up and goes, I told you so. Right?
No, you would say,
how do you like me now?
Fortune favors
Are
the
you
bold.
not entertained?
Yeah. Defense wins championships. Hey, coming up next, the future is now for the Lakers, and all eyes are on Luka, but are they ready to turn the page on LeBron?
So good, so good, so good.
Great brands, great prices. Everyone's got a reason to rack.
You know they have Marc Jacobs?
Nike? Yes. Just so many good brands.
Vince, Birkenstock, and more brands you love are at Nordstrom Rack stores now. Plus, buy it online and pick it up in-store the same day for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
On James, we discuss coming up on Breakfast Ball. Welcome back into Breakfast Ball. LeBron picked up his one-year player option, but there's no doubt in anyone's mind that the Lakers are now Luka's team. So what impact did LeBron have on Luka? Here's Luka's manager, Laura Beth Seeger. She says, Luka loves playing with LeBron and has learned so much from him. He has nothing but the utmost respect for LeBron and considers it an honor to be his teammate. So you expect LeBron to finish his career with the Lakers?
I don't. Whether it's this year or next year, I think LeBron James is going to go trophy hunting again, despite the fact that he did that whole silly diatribe a month ago about how we shouldn't, worry about how many championships the guy wins when debating where they are in the annals of basketball. And then he opts into the Lakers. Then he says, wait a minute, I may want to leave because it's out of town here for me to your ring shop. He's all over the place. Then he's at the Bad Bunny concert. Then he leaves there, goes to the Nas concert. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing these days. The only thing he has that's consistent is he covers his bald head with that bucket hat because he knows he's going bald, doesn't want people to see it. That being said.
This is why you don't like LeBron. Yeah. You want him to fully embrace bald life.
I mean, we should, right? I have.
Yeah.
I wish I could
look
wear
good,
a hat.
though. No, you look good, though.
When I'm not tan, it's disgusting. In any event, I do not think LeBron finishes his career with the Lakers because the one thing I know about LeBron, it's all about him. And guys with more championships do live rent-free in his head. And he has made a career out of ring shopping and going to better situations. And he will do that. I think it's going to be very hard for them to trade him this year because of the number on the contract. I know 4 teams have called, and there's ways of figuring that out, matching salaries and all that stuff. But I do think that LeBron James, if not this year, next year, will go to the best possible situation to try to steal another title.
Yeah, I don't think he's finishing his career in LA. And I think you're 100% right. Yeah, to come on a podcast and say, I don't know how the ring culture happened, and well, maybe you created it.
Right.
I mean, you're running around chasing rings, and listen, I don't begrudge you for wanting to go to a good team, getting good. Like, the system allows you to do it when you're a free agent, to go out there and figure out what the best scenario for you is.
By the way, why did
to
he
get
leave
another
Miami
championship.
to go back to Cleveland? Because he demanded that they fire Eric Spoelstra, and Pat Riley said, no, I run this franchise, you don't. And no one's ever said that to him before. So he had to go back to Cleveland. To do what? Try to win another championship, which he did. Gets all the credit in the world.
Which he
of course,
did.
Of course, Kyrie made the shot, but that's another story for another day. But you're right.
Worked out.
You can't bitch about ring culture when you created ring culture. You're right.
Sure, okay, well, that's a story from a different LeBron news cycle because there are so many of them because LeBron kind of fuels a lot of what we do around here. So I will just say to this question and this LeBron news cycle, they drafted his kid, and he's entering year 23. How many more years can he possibly have left? I assume he ends his career with the Lakers. Now, he is not an all-time Laker like Magic was or like Kobe was in terms of how beloved he is by Laker fans, because those guys were Lakers for life. And LeBron has been more of a mercenary. Now, he's been there a long time, and he did deliver a championship, but he did not deliver multiple championships like Magic or Kobe to the Lakers, obviously. So on the Lakers pantheon, maybe he doesn't feel as much of an attachment to the Lakers as he does the Cavs, his hometown team, or even the Heat, who he took to 4 titles, and Dwayne Wade kind of played Robin to his Batman. So maybe he does feel a little miffed by how some of this has gone down. But I assume he's going to be a Laker because he is a Laker. He opted in. They drafted his kid. And he's now Luka Doncic's teammate. Luka was in the NBA Finals 2 years ago. They were the 3 seed in the West this year. LeBron's a competitive guy. They added DeAndre Ayton. I don't think LeBron James, who was 6th in the NBA in MVP voting, and now he adds Luka, who by all accounts is working out and taking nutrition more seriously and doing LeBron James stuff in the offseason. If Luka becomes Luka again and LeBron stays LeBron, why would LeBron James not think that that team can win?
Yeah.
You might say he's wrong, but LeBron James absolutely believes that him and Luka Doncic can win an NBA championship.
I guess it's just the mixed messaging when you opt in and you say I'm in, and then the next day you go, but I'm going to look around because I don't think we have what it takes to win a championship.
LeBron has done that, though, his entire career. He created the 1-and-1, the 1-year max contract with the 1-year player option, which was this unbelievable move for leverage at the time because in the history of basketball, guys were like, give me the max, give me the max. It's all guaranteed. Give me the max. He was like, no. You're always going to give me the max. The only way you will not give me a max is if I, like in the last game of the year, ruptured my Achilles and I wouldn't be able to play for you next year. Well, that's why he has the player option. But LeBron has always signed shorter deals, kind of been the shadow general manager. His best friend now runs an agency that is one of the most powerful in all of sports. He networks deals at Team USA. He networks deals around the draft. LeBron is a power broker. LeBron is the most powerful athlete in the modern era of sports. So, like, the idea that he would opt into the Lakers deal and then put it out through back channels, we need to do a little bit more. And
Not even back channels. His agency's pretty open about it.
Well, but then the Lakers are like, well, we actually have given up some of these assets to help you already, and we're now in the Luka Doncic business going forward, so we don't want to trade our 2031 first-round pick because we need that for when the right piece comes around to pair a star with Luka, who's in his mid-20s. So I get why there's a little bit of friction there.
If you're the Lakers and there is friction or he's saying things that either make you look bad or question how you operate your business, I know this is a side story to it, but man, we signed your son. We did that for you, A, to kiss your ass, and B, to make sure you were happy. He was not going to get drafted by anybody. We signed him. We gave him a multi-year guaranteed contract. We've been pretty good to you. And that's why, if I'm the Lakers, that's why I have that alleged dinner with Luka and not you, because we're also letting you know we're moving forward.
Right, the Lakers
Luka's the future, not you.
The Lakers are not going to go all in for LeBron's last year when they think they've got 10 more years of Luka. It just wouldn't make sense. Their timeline's no longer fully aligned.
All right, it is time now for small story, big deal. Go ahead, Greg.
Small story, Chelsea won the Club World Cup, but it was a big deal that one of their players got pulled down by their hair like it was a WNBA game. Watch this right here. Hard to see, but you trust me on this one. The dude's wide open, minding his own business. He's got a bit of a European ponytail. And watch right here. Whoop! Gets pulled down.
That's cheating.
And then, of course, he soccer flops.
You're right.
But he legitimately, like it's Caitlin Clark right there, gets pulled down. There's no place for hair pulling in soccer.
No, there isn't.
That's
How
what you told me this morning.
I hope he recovers. Because,
All right.
I mean, look at that. It's just vicious. It's such a vicious sport. I just hope.
Let's go to baseball. Small story over the weekend. Mr. Met was at the Lumineers concert. But it's a big deal. He actually fell off the stage. There's
First
Mr.
off,
Met right there.
he dropped
Lumineers. Watch, and
Mr. Met, what are we doing? What are we
Mrs.
doing?
Met came out afterwards and said, "My man's good to go.
Oh, good.
I've got his back. I'll nurse him back to health. But don't worry about Mr. Met. Love my man right there." And in a weird stroke of coinkydink, the Mets won back-to-back games after Mr. Met fell off the stage at the Lumineers concert.
Coincidence? Probably.
I think not.
Not. All right, small story. As you may know, it's the slowest week in sports every year. All we've got is MLB's All-Star Game, of course, but it is a big deal that in Peru, they came up with a way to pass the time. They have the jockeys race each other.
Oh, smart.
Without the horses. Now, I swear to you, this is not AI. These are little people running down an actual horse track.
They're jockeys.
Little people, little jockeys.
Jockeys
little
are tiny.
jockeys.
They're tiny
And, of course, the jockey on the pole is the smartest jockey of them all. He's got the shortest distance. Get it?
What is the matter with you?
How about the other jockeys getting in a bit of a fight? Right out of the game. This is awesome.
Look at that.
This is my
Can you bet on this?
This is my favorite sporting event of the year.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow. Yeah.
That's
trying to
lane
cut him
4
off.
and 5.
Yeah. Anyhow, nice job there in Peru, and great job by the jockeys participating in that.
Yeah.
It was for charity.
They were actually-
and they raised a bunch of money,
Yeah,
so
it
good
looked
job.
like they were running
Can't
fast.
bet.
All right, small story. Obviously, you have the All-Star game tomorrow. The National League added Jacob Mizorowski. They call him the Miz. He's with the Milwaukee Brewers. He is 4-1 this year with an ERA of 2.81. But it is a big deal. He has only been in 5 games.
That's right.
The entire first half of the season. And the Phillies are very upset about it.
Yeah, they reacted poorly.
Yeah, too bad.
Yeah.
Like, we should celebrate this. Paul Skeens has the fewest games played prior to this and made the All-Star team a year ago. He had 10 appearances. Miz has 5 appearances. But this is the beauty of baseball. Young stud, phenom. I know only 5 appearances, but let's celebrate the kid, as opposed to what they typically do in Philadelphia, which is just bring people down.
That's right, 100%. And the kid has been absolutely electric,
Those
so
are
why
the
not?
two Phillies right there. We're like, yo, what about me? I've had more appearances, and my numbers are pretty damn good.
Yeah, and by the way, they're objectively correct. Like,
Yes.
their guys are more deserving, but baseball wants to showcase people that will get you to tune in,
Dude.
and so that it's a push and pull every
The
year.
biggest complaint I've always had with baseball is that they're great at marketing their old players. They're not great at marketing the new young players. Great job, MLB, putting a guy who's going to be a household name. They tell me we only got time for one more. I'll choose it. Dore.
Okay. Good.
Small story. My main man here, Mark Schlereth, traveled to Spokane this weekend for his 28th consecutive college reunion from Idaho.
Nice.
But it's a big deal. The reunion's this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not this past weekend.
Guy
So
got on the plane.
my man got on a plane, flew out to Denver, while waiting for his connecting flight to Spokane, got a text message from the guys, and he's like, who needs beer? Who needs ice? I got you covered. And his buddy's like, yo, big man, it's next weekend.
Truly
Thoughts
remarkable.
and comments?
True story. Well, here's the thing. You know, God's got a plan. It's all going to work out because I canceled that flight. I got an Uber. I went home, saw my grandkids, and my granddaughter got baptized this weekend. So I was there for that. So it all worked out. Hey, you know what?
Yes.
That's Mark's world. Have no idea what I'm doing, but it all is going to work out eventually.
Incredible.
Hey, we got breaking news.
At Blinds.com, it's not just about window treatments. It's about you, your style, your space, your way. Whether you DIY or want the pros to handle it all, you'll have the confidence of knowing it's done right. From free expert design help to our 100% satisfaction guarantee, everything we do is made to fit your life and your windows. Because at Blinds.com, the only thing we treat better than windows is you. Visit Blinds.com now for up to 50% off with minimum purchase plus a professional measure at no cost. Rules and restrictions apply.
Coming up from the 49ers, stay tuned. That's coming up next on Breakfast Ball. All right, well, we've got some breaking news in the NFL. The 49ers, Jauan, Jennings, who's scheduled to make $7.5 million this season, in the final year of his deal, says he wants a trade or to be paid. New contract or a trade, according to Adam Schefter. So, guys, big news coming out of San Francisco. How does this new contract demand change things or change your thought process in San Fran?
I don't think it's going to happen. Number one, they extended him last year, so he's going to make the $7.5 million this year. And I recognize he probably feels like he's got them over a barrel a little bit because they get rid of Debo. Ayuk's not ready to start. The season will miss the first 4 weeks being on the PUP list. So he's probably looking at it like, wait a minute, I'm wide receiver 1.
He's right.
I had a great year last
100%
year.
right.
Why would I play for 7.5 when maybe I can get 15 or 18 or 20?
Yeah.
So I get it. But I would be surprised that the San Francisco 49ers, kind of say yes to that and acquiesce to the demand.
I guess I would a little bit, too, because of how it went down with Ayuk last year, right? And they ended up having to pay him. Jennings definitely outperformed that contract. He is wide receiver 1 at the start of this year, so he is underpaid. And if they go out and ball out for $7.5 million, he'll be facing a franchise tag for next year. He'd be a prime candidate for that, which would be a huge raise. But, yeah, this is going to be a tough one.
This is one of those things that just gives me great pause because San Francisco dealt with Debo last year not being happy, fighting on the sideline. You got Ayuk, who had the contract dispute, then tears his ACL in Week 7. Like, this is not how you want to start a season coming in with, as you mentioned, 7 Sundays left, right?
Look, they extended him last year. They didn't have to, and they paid him more money. He gets 7.5 this year, but he's also a businessman.
Yeah.
And he looks around the room and
he does have a little
best
bit
we got.
He does have some leverage. A little.
He definitely has leverage.
Yeah.
They need him.
I'd be surprised if they give him a new deal.
I would too.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.